Hi, my name is Michael Catalano. I'm with Portola Property Management. We're located in Santa Cruz, California. We service Santa Cruz County, Capitola, and surrounding areas. Hi, today we're going to talk about what you should know as a first-time real estate investor. The first and foremost, the most important step is you need to have money. If you don't have money to invest, you should press pause on this button right now and wait until you've saved your money and then come back and watch this video. Because that's the number one thing you need to have to invest, is you need to have some money saved up. And you don't want to spend your life savings on this. So make sure that you know exactly what you're doing and you understand the money that you have involved. So let's take this first one step at a time. Money is most important. You need to have that down payment. You need to talk to a mortgage broker and find out how you can get a loan. You're going to need probably 20 to 30% down, depending on what area in California that you're in. You may need even more money to make the numbers work out properly, okay? So you have to understand the rental market. If you're going to try and purchase a property, you need to understand what it's going to rent for. And how are you going to do that? You need to find out what properties are up for rent in the areas that you're looking, and then you can kind of come up with an idea of what the property will rent for in a certain range, just to give you an idea of what your monthly expenses versus the cash flow that you may have. Understanding your return on investment. You know, I think this is a big misconception in California. It's so important to understand that a negative on a property is not an awful thing, right? If I told you you can own a property in Silicon Valley for $500 or $1,000 a month, would you take it? And the answer is absolutely, right? So what you're doing is you're having a tenant pay for your expenses, maybe not all of it, but they're paying for most of it, and you get to keep that property for that small amount per month. And if you keep that property for that small amount per month, you're going to continue to have appreciation. The tenant's going to be paying for your expenses. Your equity is going to continue to grow in your home. So it really makes sense that having that small negative on your return on investment is not a horrible thing. Because at the end of the day, the next topic is you need to know your tax repercussions or your tax advantages. And when you figure all those things out, you get to write off your property taxes. You get to write off your interest mortgage. You get to write off your insurance. If you have a property management company, you get to write off the fees that they charge. So all of those things, including capital improvements, maintenance that you've done on the property, will all become a write-off. And at the end of the day, that $500 or $1,000 a month that you're negative is going to shrink. And that's something you want to make sure that you look into. Definitely talk to a CPA or tax advisor so they can let you understand these numbers better. The next step, you identify the location. You know, it's really important that you know the area well, that you can, I really recommend investing someplace close to you first, understanding where you are and understanding the neighborhoods and understanding the schools. It will help a lot if you know the areas that you're investing to start. Once you become a seasoned investor, you can start moving into areas outside of where you are and then even out of state if that's what you choose. You have to also, like this comes back to money again. You have to make sure you have a buffer of money. You don't want to spend your life savings on the down payment and then have nothing left over, because you're going to have to deal with potential capital improvements. If the roof caves in, you have to go and fix that. Of course, if it caves in, there'd be insurance, but overall, if there's a leak, the roof gets old, you have to fix it. You have to make sure you have a buffer of money, because if you don't have that buffer, you're going to run into an issue where you have to pay for things. And in California, you got to do them quickly because there's habitability issues. You have to handle them as quickly as possible. So make sure you have that extra money for capital improvements. Also, one of the most important things of all is understanding the rental laws and honestly, the value of a property manager. The rental laws in California are the strongest in the entire United States. If you want to be a tenant, this is the place to be. So if as a landlord, you have all these regulations and you need to know what those are, and if you don't, you can get yourself in a ton of trouble financially and potentially criminally. You know, so it depends on what you kind of break of the law and what you don't know, how you can get in trouble. But ultimately, you want to make sure that you understand these laws. And this is where a property management company would come in. And you know, I'll ask a question, why wouldn't you have a property manager? Because they know these laws and they're protecting your most valued asset. This is something that's going to make you money for years and years to come. So it's important to protect it. So thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.